It's so okay. I guess last thing from this, like, God, I can't believe we got an hour out of this shit. It's like, there's not a lot here. We actually done the whole show. Damn. Okay. Friendly wagers on whether or not we think there's going to be white iPads. I know what he said.
Yes, I do believe they will be successful. It's not the same. They're not running into the same problems they did with the iPhone 4. Yes, there will be.
So you think there's going to be white iPads at launch?
Yes.
And people are actually going to get them, not a little apology from Steve that goes, I owe you one white iPad.
Remember, the 3GS, they produced the white and everybody got it. I mean, there wasn't a significant delay. I don't remember if there were or not, but I know the iOS 4, they had a problem. No, I think that, let me put it this way, if they fail in delivering a white iPad 2, as what they do with the iPhone 4, Apple's going to get smacked around.
Yeah, I guarantee that. I'm gonna tend to agree with you just because we've seen pictures of places getting like replacement white covers and stuff like for repairing them. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and go they're already manufactured and sitting in a warehouse somewhere, waiting to arrive at people. I'm sure they're in several UPS and FedEx distros as we speak. Okay. Second prediction. Do you think they're going to sell out this afternoon?
You mean our entire inventory?
Yeah, it's what Apple always tries to do.
Probably. I think that they are. I don't know if they'll sell another 15 million. That's a lot. And the first generation, I think you sure did. But I'm hearing a lot of people saying, I'm going to stick with. Because remember, this is what I love about. I don't want to make a generalized and blanket term, but there's a tremendous amount of Apple users that fanatically defend the company no matter what. So let's say iPad 1 comes out, doesn't have a camera. That's right, we don't need a damn camera. Who needs a camera? Android sucks because it needs a camera. We don't need a damn camera on the iPad, so iPad 2 comes out. It has 2 cameras. Yeah, 2 cameras, see, but Apple did it right. And Android still sucks because they have camera. You know how that kind of thing goes on. But I'm seeing a lot of those people saying, I really don't really need a camera. I'm not interested in having a camera. I'm just happy to do. That's my. And I think they're more the productive crowd saying, I'm already using my iPad to help me create music. I've got a friend or acquaintance on YouTube who uses it to. He's got all of his. Music sheets stored in it, and he flips it as he plays and stuff like that. And if that's his main purpose, what the hell is he getting an iPad 2 for, really? So.
Well, no, and I know the app you're talking about. One thing I would love to see applications like that do, but this is purely a software thing, was I would like to see them use the internal microphone to listen to you playing the keys, so it kind of goes, oh, you're getting to the last few notes. Let me turn the page for you. There's no reason an algorithm couldn't do that. You shouldn't have to take your hand off and turn the page. It should do it for you. That is one of the. That would be as anybody who's ever played music. It's like it would be so nice to have a nice digital device that will just turn the pieces of music for you. It's because you don't want to be focusing on turning this little piece of paper. This is one of the reasons if you're ever performing music, you memorize it so you don't have to do that. It's and it would be nice to get to cheat. So there's that aspect of it. Yeah, well, no, and that's the thing. The other reason is, a lot of people just bought their. This is one of the reasons I was wondering about the iPhone 5, though, for the same reason, in that people can only afford to buy these devices so often, and since a lot of people just bought iPhone 4s in January, it's one of those things. I'm not sure I see. Mid-summer launch being the best time for an iPhone 5. It's probably when they'll launch it, but it's one of those things I'm just, people aren't going to immediately go out and buy a new one 3 months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later. They really want at least a year in between. And then there's those people who are, well, I've signed a 2-year contract, so I'll get one in 2 years. I'm waiting for the, of course, there is that aspect on the iPhone 5 and that they're with all the things that happened with that, I'm sure a lot of people were I'm just going to keep my 3GS and wait for the 5 and hope it, like you're hoping, it's got some magic in it, as opposed to just this is a, yeah.
Yeah, I would love, like I said, I'd love to see it. So, I mean, really, just time will tell on what they're going to deliver with iOS 5. But I thought that they were going to have an announcement in April showing what is going to be in iOS 5.
Well,
if I'm not mistaken.
That's the rumor. It's not hard confirmed. That would make sense. Because it's people know what their tax returns are going to be. It's like people know how much money they can afford to give Apple. It's like that's really the perfect time to do that. Actually, it's like, wow, I know what my tax return's going to. It's like, honey, we're getting iPhone 5. It's like, the government gave it. Apple gets it.
Well, my wife likes her iPhone 4, but granted, she's not a consumer that uses every single feature on it, and it's kind of like advertising all these applications. I'm not one of these guys that buys the ultimate package of cable, so I have 400 or 600 channels to go through,
and nothing's on.
To me, that's like, really the margin of what you're paying for actually using. It's got to be terribly skewed in that aspect, and I would hope that with cable television, people buy what they need. It's.
I am this close to canceling television altogether.
Well, I don't even get to watch. My kids, they like the. My youngest one likes the Sprout channel, and cable does this damn thing. No matter what provider you use, they put the Sprout channel on the family plans, and then if you try to upgrade just a little bit to kind of get some other shows in there, it's not available. You have to skip that next plan and go to the plan following that, which is an even ungodly amount of expense to go from a family package. To me, if
I had kids, I would not be considering to cancel cable, because it's. I think it's important for kids to be watching like the Learning Channel, History, Discover, and the things like that. Yeah, like that's good for them. They're getting some information, and they stay out of your hair for a few hours while they actually get some acquired knowledge.
He's more into he'll watch movies every now and then, but he comes home, he has to do homework, so he's not really able to watch TV. And when he does, he's interested in watching movies. More than I think that just.
Well, no, and see, the reality is you can get all that stuff with like Netflix and stuff. More and more, I'm honestly looking at the economics of what am I paying for the cable for, because also more and more like every show I like's getting canceled. I liked I liked Caprica, canceled. I liked Stargate, canceled. I liked canceled. I'm like, you know what? I gotta just show them and just stop buying it all together. Do
you know that they're re-releasing Firefly?
In syndication, or
I believe that
is there going to be a new season?
Producers are saying that they're going to have like a special. My brother told me about this, so I haven't looked it up. But
I liked Firefly.
My brother, the producers are relaunching it to rekindle interest, and based upon that, will dictate if Firefly gets to continue.
Okay. Well, how would they? Well, I guess because of the way they ended the Serenity movie. There's.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Oh no, yeah. Well, there is a possibility to continue it, because I mean that guy said, I told them you're not a threat anymore, but they may not believe you. So it's like they were trying to set up another season or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They left it open.
Yeah, it's like. But I mean, we killed two of the characters in the movie.
Yeah, true. Very true. But what is her name? What is her name? See,
which one?
I get a lot of criticism for being a fan of the new V. I think that they recovered nicely, although I have a critical problem in terms of they show Diana, but am I to take that is the same written character Diana of the 80s, and then why would Earth forget about her? Or obviously, this is the first visitation by
Well,
the
no,
V,
see,
so
that's
this
the thing.
Diana has nothing to do with the previous character, Diana.
I haven't watched any of V because I'm having a hard time getting my head around it because it's one of those. It's like it's clearly a reimagining, and they're not after the planet's water, and they're.
Oh no, I think what they're after is far better in terms of being. Look, come on. If we were to bring the concept up of V, where they're here for our salt water, or just water in general, the oceans, and then here to use this as food, huh? It's not as entertaining. This V, they have a genetic problem, and they're here to interbreed.
I've gotten that. They're trying to make hybrids to save their species.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever to bring in versus because. I don't know if it'd be as exciting to say, oh, okay, we're food again and the rest are water. Hello.
But I'm like afraid to watch anything that might be interesting now because I'm convinced it's going to be canceled or I'm going to like lose it. Like they need to promote this stuff better. Like they're getting really bad, especially on this reimagining stuff. I was so behind on Battlestar Galactica because of like
I tried like hell to get into the new Battlestar Galactica.
Well, no, that was the thing. That was the thing.
I was like, no, this is ridiculous. There's too much of this weirdness to it.
Well, no, that was the thing. The first 2 seasons sucked. Because if you'd watched the original Battlestar Galactica, you're like, you couldn't get over Starbuck as a chick. You just, there was all these, what?
I know. And they got too much into psychology.
Well, but
visions and what, I was like, come on,
No, but it did around like I started watching it again with some friends like late season 3, and then it was like, oh, okay, they're actually signed, and then I could kind of pick it up, and I kind of wished I'd watched the first 2 seasons, but so that was why I watched Caprica like fanatically, because I'm like, they're building something, and then they cancel it before they get there, and then they just kind of wrap it all up in 6 episodes, and they don't tell you they're going to air, and at least they're not doing that with, and it's the same thing with SGU, there's clearly this overall thing, but nope, we're just going to neatly wrap it up in half a season,
right?
If that.
Well, I got into V. One, of course, I was a major fan as a kid, and I was gonna watch it no matter what because I was a big V fan. And then
I watched the pilot, but it was one of those I just couldn't get into.
The actress, what's her name? Mitchell. She came from Lost. I admit, I was a Lost fan up until the last season, where I actually made a YouTube video just yelling and saying they have mentally raped me. It sucks. The ending is worthless, and there are feeble excuses like it was a character development. It's like, hello, your main character was the island. I'm not interested in a reactive character development because the island was everything, and I could give a crap on how people react to the island. They forsake the main character of the show.
Everybody, don't take us wrongly, everybody talks about Lost. I haven't watched Lost. I've tried several times. Here was the thing. When Lost first came on, I just thought it was about a bunch of people in a plane crash being, Lord of the Flies on an island. I was like, this has been told 8 billion times. I have no interest in it. Then a year later or so, they're like, oh no, there's this whole understory you didn't know about that we had to unravel.
So
and then at that point, if you had
sci-fi bust into it, they kept a nice logical strands going on and intrigued you even more and made more mystery.
But the problem
was so addicted to say, well, what's this going to be about? And then
the problem
fell off a cliff.
The problem was by the time you figured out it was something you were interested in, if you hadn't been watching it, you had no clue what the hell was going on. I watched YouTube sum-ups about, basically there was a smoke monster that's really this thing, and here's the bottle, and blah went in and became the light. They summed it up. I'm like, well, at least I get what the whole thing was about now.
Right. And see, my thing is that I don't have very many TV shows that I watch. I don't have a lot of time.
I don't either.
Those that have always followed me for years, since 2000.
That's the other reason I'm thinking about canceling.
They all know. My favorite show of all time that covers everything is untouchable in terms of the quality of writing, story arc, its philosophy and psychology, and it is Babylon 5. No one can touch that for me. I'll be surprised if in the remaining years I live that something can come close to the writing quality of that show.
And you know why that show was so good? The guy who created Babylon 5?
Yeah, J. Michael Straczynski.
No, J. Michelson wrote a 1 million year timeline Bible for that universe.
Yeah, he
had the whole history 200 years before and just shy of 1 million years after. So he knew this world inside and out.
Exactly. And Straczynski basically said, because he's done a lot of work out there, he does a lot of writing, and he said, this was my baby, and I was never going to release my baby until I had enough clout with the producers so that they would leave me alone and give me the precise 5 years that I need to execute the story. And he pulled it off. It was just. I was like, you better not. And he had so much anxiety about that show.
No, he thought he had enough clout to do it 2 more times because he was going to do Crusade and Legend of the Rangers.
Well, wait a minute. No, Crusade was not. That was more the students come back to him and say, wow, you've created quite a following. Let's see where this goes.
No, but that was the thing. Crusade was actually a chapter in that Bible. He's like, he was like, we can tell this chapter, but then they wouldn't leave him alone and let him tell it. So he just walked off like halfway into the first season. He's like, no, I'm not, no, bye. and then it went right into the ground.
I mean, I still have I own the entire B5 collection and Crusade collection, so I'm happy with that. But Firefly was my next show. And like I said, I don't have, but that was quickly canceled, over and done with.
Yeah, I feel like such a geek because I have the same collections here. You know, I have In the Beginning, and I have the Minbari War one, and I have the seasons. I didn't like Year 5 that much, to be honest. I know why it was there, but it was just one of those I didn't really see.
Yeah, because the arc had such a climax with 4. People were like, oh my god. and 5 kind of felt like you had lost a lot of the wind out of the sail, but I mean, it was extremely crucial to the story because the arc is about the station, and that's what Lost forgot. There was wonderful character development in Babylon 5.
Well,
the story was the station, and that's why season 5 had it all the way to the beginning of the station to the end of the station.
Yeah, then they went forward 20. Then they went forward the 20 years to where he dies, and they're blowing up the station.
Exactly. We know as much about the characters for the lifespan of the station, and a very good friend of mine on YouTube got me into watching Lost.
Actually, you know everything about the characters for the lifespan of the Babylon Project. Including the Minbari War, which led to its creation. Going back to the original Shadow War, which was the reason for the stop of the Minbari War. You know everything tethering off of that, including
everything that would explain every inch of that station for being and going away. It's covered thoroughly. I know, it's beautiful.
But that's what happens when you actually write out a full story and then actually just tell it, as opposed to the other crap.
I know. I mean, and then Firefly seemed to have something going, and they finally published Serenity, which I think gave an outstanding backing to what we were all watching. But of course, it died off. So I didn't have a show for quite a long time. Yeah, I went to Lost. But see, I didn't get into Lost until it was heading into season 5. So I literally
You were lost.
I literally went back and my wife and I just watched from season 1 all the way up to season 5, and then we're ready to go when season 5 started. And then so we hung on to it. But my wife and I were like, this is getting stupid. We're losing the excitement we had in watching 1 through 4 going into 5 and going, what the hell was happening? And I remember saying to my wife, I said, this is why I don't watch TV. I said, there will always be one show that holds the crown, which is B5.
Well, no,
I think that's when you get involved and then they just let you down.
Well, no, and that's the problem with all of them these days. It's like as soon as the show begins to become a contender for actually having a plot, it's almost immediately canceled or futzed with. Mm-hmm. I can't stand it. It's ironically, I love Babylon 5, but I didn't watch it that much when it was first on because it was opposite Deep Space Nine, and I was a Trekkian.
Hey, Deep Space Nine totally recovered from the Dominion Wars, man. The Dominion Wars totally brought that show back to.
Well, it was the darker Star Trek.
Yeah, it was.
It was still Gene Roddenberry's world, but it was. We actually have problems in Gene Roddenberry's world. This is one of them.
But Anna of V, which was original part of this conversation, came from Firefly.
Yeah.
She was the girlfriend to what's his name? Damn it. The captain of the ship. I forget his name. Darn it.
This is bad. We're both bad, so we can't remember his name.
I know, and she was Inara in Firefly.
Yeah, she's got an undercut hair. Okay.
And she was the girlfriend to what's his name? Mal.
Mal, thank you. Yes, brown coat himself.
Damn it! Brain farts. Yeah. It was to Mal.
Now you're gonna make me go through all their names. There's Zoe, Mal.
Yeah, I remember Zoe. That's right.
Right. You just said her name, and now I've forgotten it. Honora.
Who was the big dude? The big dude. He was like
Jake.
What's his name?
You're talking about you're talking about their enforcer guy?
Yeah.
Jake.
What's his name? Let me look it up here. Jane.
Oh, I thought it was... No, yeah, you're right, Jane. Had a girl's name. Made fun of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
The engineer? Kaylee.
Kaylee, thank you.
Yeah.
And then River, and then the other two guys, one of which is dead, and then the Reverend, who I don't think they ever actually said his name.
I don't know what his name is, yeah.
Who was he? I think they said it like once when he's talking about. But see, one of the reasons I think Firefly was so good is because they did kind of the same thing they did for Babylon 5. They wrote the history for the backstory. We left Earth, we terraformed all these worlds, and then we had a war because the Outer Rim worlds didn't want to become governed under the center worlds, and there was a backstory there. As a matter of fact, in the pilot episode, they're talking about you're talking about Babylon 5, the station's the main character. Firefly, Serenity, the Firefly ship is an indirect character in the Firefly series.
Absolutely.
And starting off from the get-go, they're pointing out that not only is she a Firefly, but she's like this nicer version of her, because they're talking about, you see, there's other versions of Fireflies that don't have the extenders, so they don't have the shuttles and the engines make the whole ship stop.
It's like a classic model that they keep.
I'm just like, so wait a minute, we have created a whole subclass of ship that we're never going to make, that's never in the series, just to explain why this ship is better.
Hey, quick question. Is this all going on the iWorld show?
We do need to stop the recording.
Whether or not fine. You go ahead and publish it.
I was going to ask because we could cut the last 20 minutes out, but I have half a mind to publish it. This is like
I would say publish.
Tips on sci-fi and what's wrong with TV.
I say publish it.
Okay, but we're going to stop it here. It's like hopefully bye.